Hi guys, and welcome to the second episode of Game of Thrones Epic Character History, where we focus on several characters who may or may not make appearances in the show and have greatly influenced several events in the main story. So if you're worried about any spoilers, don't worry, I'll keep everything great and spoiler free. I won't be like those assholes in the comment sections, so don't worry, you won't have to say the comments are dark and full of spoilers, because God knows I've heard that way too many fucking times. But anyways, also, I'm gonna make this episode incredibly short because there's not a lot to know about this character, but the events that happen around him and why he's even mentioned at all is actually fairly important in the story. So without further ado, let's talk about Gerion Lannister. I hope I said that name right. So, if you didn't know this already, Tywin Lannister has several brothers, one of them being Kevan Lannister, who was a commander for him during one of his main battles with Robb Stark in the War of Five Kings. Now, I was watching the trailer for Season 4 of Game of Thrones, which will take some of its material from the second half of the third book. In one scene of the trailer, you get to see Jaime holding a brand new sword. Now, I don't want to eat my words, and I don't want you to think I lied to you, but I'm going to review one small tidbit of information that you could, I guess it's not really spoiler, but if you just want to stay completely in the dark, I understand. However, be warned, if you don't want to know what this sword is, or how they got it, and why it's important, I'm talking about his brothers or whatever, then, if you want to know, keep watching. If not, if you want to be completely in the dark, then find out later when it comes out, you can come back and watch this and learn more. I just like sharing this kind of information because I think it's kind of cool and important to the story. So I'm gonna shut the fuck up and just say it. So Jaime's new sword is given to him by his father, actually forged from breaking down Eddard Stark's Valyrian sword Ice and forged into two new blades, one of them being the one that Jaime has in the trailer. However, it isn't common knowledge, but if you didn't know, that almost every noble house in Westeros has a Valyrian steel weapon that is handed down through generations to the head of the family and so on. Each weapon has their own name and story behind it. So, unfortunately for the Lannisters, their family sword was lost ages ago when King of the Rock, Tommen II, sailed to Valyria for unknown reasons and took the Lannister family Valyrian sword Brightroar with him. Since then, the Lannisters has unsuccessfully attempted to replace their Valyrian steel sword by offering to buy the Valyrian steel weapons of other houses, only to be turned down each time. 6 years before the start of Game of Thrones Season 1 and even Book 1, Gerion Lannister, who was Tywin's youngest brother, set out to find their family's ancestor sword. Tyrion and Jaime kind of remember their uncle fondly as being one of their favorites. In fact, if you think Jaime was the only one who treated Tyrion like a member of the family, Gerion always rewarded him whenever he would recite historical facts memorized by heart. So he's a pretty cool guy. He always laughed and had a talent for making everybody around him laugh. So, if you thought all the Lannisters were cocks instead of Tyrion, this guy was actually pretty cool himself. Unfortunately, he was never seen again when he set sail to Old Valyria to find their family's sword and any other treasure that might have survived the doom of Valyria. Almost a decade later, after his ship, the Laughing Lion, set sail, Tywin sent men to look after his brother, only to find that he got as far as Volantis, where half of his crew had deserted him because he wanted to sail into the Smoking Sea, and he actually had to buy slaves to replace the crew that deserted him, because nobody wants to fucking go into the Smoking Sea. It's apparently haunted. So they never heard from Gerion again. He never returned to Westeros. And unfortunately for the Lannisters, Ned Stark betrayed them when he did, and they were able to cut his head off with his own sword, then take the sword, break it down, and make two more swords. And yeah, that's mainly it. There isn't many information on Gerion Lannister or what happened to him, and it's probably one of the greatest mysteries in this book, and it's actually pretty intriguing. There are various theories about what happened to him, and I don't honestly want to go into these theories because there are a lot of them. Some people say that he went there and apparently he found that Valyria was still standing or someone had rebuilt it and there were dragons there or a dragon ate him. That's just main speculation. Or apparently some say that he met a certain character we'll probably see in future seasons, a member of the Greyjoy family, and this Greyjoy attacked him. And yeah, because, the Greyjoy rebellion at Lannisport, they don't really like the Lannisters that much. So there are many theories as to what happened to him, and I'm honestly not going to go into all of them, but that's just some of the few. Sorry if this video wasn't as long as you thought it would be. There isn't much information about him, and I wanted to fill the video with as much information about the Lannister ancestral sword as much as possible. It's Brightroar, by the way. I'll put it in the description below because my accent is terrible. But yeah, thanks for watching, and make sure to check out my other videos if you're interested, and I will have more about epic characters that you probably have never heard of, but you should, to try and tie things into the story a little bit better. So yeah, thanks for watching and have a good one.